Not a prophet like we find the advertisements on the 34 bus or the 21 bus when the woman says, come and pay $15, and she puts your palm in her hand, or she has a crystal ball, or she takes some leaves and puts it in a cup, or some stones and she rolls them around the cup and she throws them. Not that type of prophet. Not the type of prophet that speaks in a language with the lips and the tongue going so quickly that you can't understand what they're saying, some undistinguishable language, of which the Christians in their theology call glossolalia. Some language that's going real fast and they're speaking a language no one knows what it is. No, he was speaking words that were clear from the book of Allah, the Quran. And when he came down from that cave, he went and told his wife, and he was afraid what he saw. And she reassured him that yes, indeed, you are a prophet. Because you've never been known to lie. You've never been known to be dishonest. You've never been known to defraud people. You've never been known to be a cheat. You've always been known a man to be respectful and to be pious. So that man, Muhammad, the Arab, born in the city of Mecca, in the Arabian Peninsula, he began to preach that which the prophets before him preached. He began to preach that which Noah taught and preached. That which Solomon taught and preached. That which Abraham taught and preached. That which Aaron taught and preached. That which Jesus taught and preached. He taught all of that which the prophets from before taught, with the exclusion of saying that the Lord of the worlds has a partner. With the exclusion, because those prophets of old didn't teach that the Lord of the worlds has a child, has a son, has a daughter, has a father or a mother. He taught what they taught, with the exclusion of committing that heinous sin of lying and slandering the Lord of the worlds, Allah. So he began to preach, and his example was accepted because he was a man of the highest impeccable qualities and characteristics. That which he taught, we are teaching you today. That which he informed those people of the past about is what we are informing you of today. To worship your Lord, to ascribe no partners to him, to give him his rights, to follow only that which you have a proof for from the scripture that was revealed to him, to stand devoutly to him in obeisance and submission and humility to him, to treat the women kindly and do not abuse them, to do not devour the property and the wealth of the orphans, to take care of the needy and the poor and the homeless, to help the oppressed and even help the oppressor in Islam. To help the oppressed and even help the oppressor in Islam, we help even the oppressor. How do we help the oppressor? We help the oppressor by holding his hand back so that he doesn't oppress. This is what Islam teaches. Islam teaches that we must give respect that is due to the elderly. Islam is the religion that doesn't teach to place your family, your mother or your father or your grandmother in the senior citizens building or the old folks' homes. Islam doesn't teach this. We have proof of this in the Quran. But rather you keep them close to you and you cherish them and you honor them and you take care of them. This is what Islam teaches. Islam even teaches that the road, the streets have rights. That when you finish eating your Snicker bar, that you don't take the wrapper and you throw it on the ground. Islam teaches this, and we can find the evidence for this in the Quran. Islam teaches perfection in every aspect of life, everything. And once the person knows who their Lord is, everything else falls in place. Like a beautifully oiled machine. Everything runs perfectly. Islam is the way of life that doesn't exclude our relationship with the Lord of the worlds, not even for a second. For when the person puts on his clothes and he's a Muslim, he says a prayer. When the person puts on his hat or she puts on her dress or stockings, there is a supplication or prayer that she says. When they look in the mirror, they ask Allah, "Oh Allah, make me well in my moral character as you made me in my appearance." There's a prayer even for looking in the mirror. A prayer for combing your hair. A prayer for brushing your hair. A prayer for brushing your teeth. A prayer for washing up. A prayer for even having sexual intercourse with your husband or your wife. Islam, the Lord of the worlds, out on any level whatsoever. When you get on the bus, when you get off the bus, when you get on the plane, when you deplane, when you get on the subway, when you get off the subway, a prayer is already given us, not by the preacher, by Allah, who knows us. Anyone. He gave us the answer for every solution, for every problem. The solution for every problem is connected. And at the same time, it doesn't disconnect us from the people who are non-Muslim. This is what we did you today. This is the reason why we've called you here. Clarify what is Islam and what is a Muslim and who is Allah. And even if not one of you who is non-Muslim faces Islam today, and we definitely will do that. If you think that these burgers and hot dogs are free, no, there's a the is that we're going to be inviting you coming if we know you to be a non-Muslim and to invite you to Islam. This is the reason why we came here today, to clarify what is a Muslim, who is Allah, who is Muhammad, what is the Quran and Islam. And if we don't find any one of you embracing Islam, except then at least we've done our jobs. At least we have done our job to invite you to that which He Himself ordered you to do, because He has not created you for any other reason except to worship Him and to worship Him alone. He did not create you to be a bus driver. He did not create you to be a math teacher. He did not create you to be a drug seller. He did not create you to be a basketball player. He created you to worship Him, and everything else is subsequent to that. Everything else is subsequential. So we're going to end it here. And if there's anyone here, and please, don't be shy. I'm from Newark just like you. Don't be shy. If there's anyone here that has any questions, even if you think it's offensive, even if you think you're stepping on our toes, even if you think that we may get upset, we're not going to get upset. Ask us any question today. All questions we want presented to us. Whatever you want, ask us about it. And if it's the will of Allah, if it is His will, and nothing happens except by His will, we will try to give you the answer. We ask Allah that He uses this event to guide you to the straight way, the way that has no crookedness in it, to the correct path, and that you can stand, so that you'll be able to stand in front of Him in good shape on that day that He says in His book, أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Do they not think, don't even think that they will soon be resurrected, that they will stand on that great day in front of the Lord of the worlds. We ask Allah to guide all of you to Islam, to make you understand your duty to the Lord of the worlds, Allah. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم.